Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today we'll be talking about 5 reasons why you should marry a Filipina, and well, 5 things that you have to know before you marry a Filipina. So let's get started. First one thing that you have to know about Filipinas would be we're very good at saving money. We're not cheap per se because we do like nice things. I like nice things, but we make it in such a way that we buy the things that we want or need but not break the bank. Like, I buy the things I want, but I always consider, like, can I afford it? Can we afford it? Do we have enough money and it's out of the savings and not like putting us in a huge credit card debt? So we're very practical when it comes to buying the stuff that we want slash need. So yeah, well, when I was in the Philippines, I thought I'm very well, I was a shopaholic, but I've always thought that I spend more than I should, but I still keep it within my budget. But then when I met my husband, I'm like, oh my goodness, I am handling our finances because I feel I'm better when it comes to saving money. So with our setup, he does the investing, I do the saving. So I think it works out for us. And yeah, so that's the first thing why you should get a Filipino wife. We are good in handling money and we won't waste your money slash our money because, well, we're gonna get married. It's gonna be ours, right? And then of course we have second, Filipinas are very hardworking, and a lot of us, mainly with the people I know, the Filipinas that I know, are very much career oriented, meaning to say we like making our own money, and because of that we don't fully depend on you to provide for us. Like, most of us are educated and can get a good paying job, and so we're not marrying you for money. We can definitely provide for ourselves, but at the same time we also are very nurturing. So you have the best of both worlds. We can provide for ourselves and we are very caring. So I do hope though that because of that you value and appreciate the woman you are with more, and not take it for granted. That is because since we make our own money and we can very well get out of the door and not depend on you, okay, being with you is not a necessity, it's a want. And if you don't treat us right, we can get out of the door. But then that brings me to number 3. Okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Philippines is actually the only country in the world aside from Vatican that does not have divorce. So if the woman comes from the Philippines, we don't really have a concept of divorce. We have annulment, but it's way more complicated to get it. And so if we marry you, we are definitely here for the long haul, and we're gonna stick it out as much as possible, because for us marriage is very important and it is not to be taken lightly. Okay, so I think that's a great one, right? So that's the third one. We usually do not believe in divorce. If we marry you, we're gonna be here through thick and thin no matter what. But I do hope you do treat the woman right, because if not, as I've said, we're not afraid to walk out of the door because we know that we can provide for ourselves and be okay on our own. And number 4, Filipinos in general will always consider about you and how you feel before we make any decision. Like, for example, when I want to film a video or say something, or even when I started a YouTube channel, I first asked my husband how he feels about it, because I want to know that he's okay with it. I don't want to do something that he's not okay with. And to me, his opinion matters. So he would always tell me like, baby, you can do whatever you want, you can say whatever you want, and you can talk about whatever you want. Like, I just want you to be happy, which I really appreciate. But I think it's in my nature to like, if you're my partner, he's my significant other, he's my husband, I want to make sure that he's okay with what I'm doing before I do anything, because that's just how we are. Like, we're brought up in such a way that we kind of always consider what others would think, especially if we care about someone. And I know this may be sometimes bad because it gets us anxiety and this and that, but it's just how we were brought up. And yeah, I think it's somehow a good trait, but I hope you don't abuse it, you know, like it's not being controlled, like he does not control me, but I just respect his wishes, and I respect like things that he may not want me to do, which so far nothing really. Okay, I have to pause. So I'm back. I'm sorry about that. My husband called and of course I answered it while filming. Okay, so I've mentioned 4 things already, and the most important one, and this can actually be considered also considered in the 5 things that you have to know before marrying her would be, we like the house clean. Like, I think that's a good thing, right? So the house is almost always clean. Yeah, we work, we take care of you, and we keep the house clean. Ain't that great? Yeah, that's really good. But number 1 thing that you have to learn or know before you marry a Filipina is, since we like the house clean, guys, shoes are not allowed inside the house. Shoes should be taken off before you go inside the house. My husband has changed and he now removes his shoes because he knows it bothers me, because I'm like, your shoes have been everywhere, and you'll just go inside the house and walk in and this and that. I'm like, no. So yeah, that's just for me. Of course, or if there are visitors, it's a different thing, but the thing is, after they go, I usually would sweep, vacuum, and mop because that is just me. We like, well, Filipinas, me, like the house clean. That's the reason why we have white bed sheets, because I like saying if there's like dirt and it has to be washed. Generally, I wash our bed sheets once a week, and yeah, to me that's a good thing. But my husband thinks sometimes it's a little too much, like they're a little too clean, and that's one thing you have to know about Filipinas. Okay, so yes, we want the house clean. So as you can see, if you enter our place, shoes are out here because I don't want the shoes inside. But of course, if you are visiting us, I'll be like, okay, it's okay, don't take off your shoes. Okay, next. Oh, I think this might be something you have learned already if you have dated a Filipina or a Filipino. We point with our mouth. So when you're like, oh, where did you put the, let's say, where's my wallet? And even if her hands are free, she would be like, there. So yeah, we point with our mouth and not really with our fingers, which should actually be the case, right? But yeah, that is the second thing that you have to know, that we point with our mouth, and when we do this, we're not saying kiss me. Okay, well, maybe you can kiss her if you want to, you know, but yeah. And then next will be third, we love pictures. We like taking pictures, and We like our pictures being taken. So you want to make her happy? You're dating a Filipina? Take her picture. She'll love it. But then you have to take more than one picture because she'll be like, oh, I'm too fat. Oh, this is not good enough. Oh, you'll have to take like 5 pictures before, well, minimum of 5 to 10 pictures before you'll get what she actually wants. Pictures. We love our pictures. That is actually my non-negotiable during our wedding preparation. I was like, yeah, we can go cheap on a lot of things, but please, we're not going cheap with the photographer because I want really nice and beautiful pictures. And because of that, when we went for our honeymoon, I also told my husband that, hey, we're hiring a photographer for at least like a part of a day, so we have pictures together. Because yeah, you take good pictures of me, but then I want to have pictures with you while we are in Hawaii, and I want it to be taken by a professional photographer. So with me, I don't mind spending money in getting a nice like a good photographer to have good pictures, because to me, they're forever. You know, they're the things that you look at to someday and you'll be like, oh, I remember this and that. So yeah, if you, well, once I do a room tour or an apartment tour, you will see how many pictures there are in this tiny place of ours, because I love pictures. And Filipinos and Filipinas that I know and are friends with usually love pictures too. We can actually meet up, go on a date, and just be like, oh, let's do some picture taking. We love our pictures. That's the third thing you have to know about Filipinos. Okay, we're getting down to the fourth one. OMG. The fourth one, guys, is very important. You gotta take note of this. We love food. And well, who does not? But our appetite is crazy. Like, my husband would sometimes tell me like, where do you put all that food? Because we love food. And aside from that, we love food and we love rice. We need rice. And we mean, how will I explain it? You see, in the Philippines, any food without rice is not considered a meal. If let's say you ate a sandwich or a spaghetti, for us, that is not considered a meal. That is just a snack. So until we have our rice with like meat or fish with it or whatever, we would always say, oh, I've not eaten. Because for us to consider it a complete meal is to have rice with it. Rice is indeed life. Do you guys agree? Filipinas out there, can you comment down below if you still feel this way, like a meal is not complete without rice? Because I do. Oh, I have a really funny story. We were in Hawaii for our honeymoon and we were staying at Ritz-Carlton. And for some reason here in the United States, you're staying at a luxury hotel. Breakfast is not included in what you pay for. Well, my husband said because they assume that if you're staying at the hotel, well, you are willing and able to pay for a nice breakfast. So I was like, nah, in the Philippines, if you stay in a nice hotel, oh, the buffet breakfast will be so good. Anyway, going back. So one morning during our honeymoon, he was like, baby, do you want anything for breakfast? And I told him, I want rice. I am craving rice. I need rice. And he's like, do you think they'll have rice for morning? I'm like, we're in Hawaii. There's so many Filipinos here. They probably do have it. And he's like, okay. So he went down and got breakfast. He came back in our room bringing 2 cups of rice. Just rice. Well, because he said that I only told him that I wanted rice and nothing else. So he assumed that I'm just eating the rice on its own. So please take note, guys. If you are going to marry a Filipina, when we say we want rice, we mean we want rice with meat in it and eggs and like bacon or whatever. So it's not just rice, it's just that we need the rice, okay? So that's the fourth thing that you have to know before you marry a Filipina. And Lastly, this is very important and probably the most important one: communication. When we say, mm-mm, that's not a no, that's a yes. I'm saying this because when I first went out to meet up with my husband, because we've been talking through Tinder, he was like, oh, are you getting breakfast? Do you want anything to eat? And I said, mm. That meant yes to me. And he was like, oh, okay, then I'll just get coffee. That was because to him, mm-mm meant no. So we sat there for 2 hours just drinking coffee from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning because our first date was a breakfast date. So yeah, you guys have to know that when we say mm-mm, that's a yes. Okay? And well, yeah, you have to like be more open in communicating with us because sometimes Filipinos will be shy in saying what we want. And we know that guys are not mind readers, but we can't help it, you know? We're kind of shy. I am kind of shy. But yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please comment down below what things you think are, good about Filipinas. And if you're a Filipina, comment down below what are the things that a foreigner or a guy should know before dating us or getting married to us. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.